Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Spurs Live. I am joined today by my co-host Josh. How are you doing today, mate? You alright?
Not too bad, mate. It's not too bad a day to be a Spurs fan. How are you?
Not bad at all. Look at you chilling there. You got your coffee. Looking
Ready
smart.
to
Look
go.
at that. Today we are going to be joined by also Matt as well. Later on, who's going to pop in whenever he is ready. But let's go. Let's get straight into it. No need to talk a bit too much. Let's just go straight into it. What were your thoughts on that 2-2 draw versus Man United? Obviously, key players such as Heung Min Son, Pape, Bissouma, Kulu, Solomon. Have I missed out anyone?
I mean, obviously you got them Madders.
Matters. Yep, they were all missing. So what were your thoughts getting the 2-2?
I think this was a really weird game to analyze. Like the word that came to my head afterwards was strange. Like it was a strange game in terms of I feel like the word dominant has been used a lot to describe our performance, but I
Yeah.
wouldn't say we were dominant in a traditional sense of like we were constantly peppering them. I thought we were in control of the game
Hmm.
for most of it. I felt pretty comfortable and I felt like we were barely challenged by United in terms of, wanting control of the game. And I feel like most of the game was played in United's half.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that we were in complete control, I felt that, at least in the first half, both teams offered quite an equal threat. In terms of actually, if you looked at just the highlights after the first half, we both had pretty much equal chances, and you could argue that United actually had the better of the chances in the first half.
Yeah.
I think that's just stylistically, it's a bit of a clash. I mean, I'm not comparing us to City and whatnot, but when we play against City traditionally, stylistically, we just match up well against them. Our strengths in counter attacking have always been, adjacent to their weaknesses when it comes to their possession based style of play. And you
Yeah.
could see that at play in this game against United. I think they were happy to sit and counter us on the flanks, which is obviously our weakness because of our inverted fullbacks and how, Pedro Porro and Adogi get up. And that's a dream for Rashford and Garnacho. And I think we were a little bit toothless despite our possession, which is why it doesn't feel as dominant to me as it probably was, if you get what I mean. I
Hmm.
think there was,
Yeah.
because of the lack of creativity and the attackers missing, and with the fact that we had no attacking midfielders in the squad, because Kulu was obviously taken ill, I felt like it was a lot of control of the game and possession, but not a lot of end product. The speed was just too slow. We were far too slow in possession, which is why we've come away with a bit of a lackluster draw overall, if you get what I mean. So it's not a bad
Yeah.
point in context, but I think if we were fit, we would have sideswiped United quite easily yesterday.
Yeah, no, fair enough, fair enough. Good assessment there. Matt's in the background. Just give me thumbs up so you know when if you're ready to come up. Yep, all right, that's what we like to do here. Be up to Matt who's in here. How you doing, mate? You alright?
All good, all good.
Good, good, good. Well, look, I'm quickly gonna give my opinion on the game before we get over to Matt's. Look, I think the game was it was a bit. I agree with Josh here in terms of weird. It was weird, but in the heat of the moment after the game, I was quite frustrated that we didn't get 3 points. I'll be honest, I was really frustrated we didn't get 3 points. But now after calming down a bit, I can't understand that the situation we got put in, to try win 3 points over United at Old Trafford that haven't lost a game, whilst winning at half time. I haven't lost since 1984. It's quite a hard thing for Tottenham. Now I just feel like with Ange Ball, you can't really play two defensive midfielders, especially in that middle of the park when you need the creative. Even though we had two defensive midfielders, we should have had at least one of them playing as a central midfielder. I feel like both of them were playing such defensive roles. Like Skippy was looking back. Højbjerg was doing as much as he can, but it was very defensive what he was doing. Bentancur was our only creative asset in that midfield. Werner, Werner, we're going to get onto him to talk about his debut, but all round, I just feel like we weren't creating much, and we did what we did the best with what we could have done with the set of players we put out. That's the best assessment in my opinion. Matt, what were your thoughts on that 2-2 game versus United?
Look, I think it's testament for how far Tottenham have come as a team. That, go back 5 years, maybe 10 years, Yeah. If you go back 10 years, if we'd got a point at Old Trafford, we'd be ecstatic.
Yeah.
Right? We'd be like, oh, yes, decent point. Yeah, got a point at United, haven't lost the game. Right? Whereas now, we're actually genuinely disappointed not to have taken all 3 points. And having watched the game, we dominated United. We were the much better team for the majority of the game. In the second half, I think they had 2 touches in opposition box. And I don't think they had a single shot on target in the second half.
I need to go back and see that, but I don't know.
Sure
Yeah.
Not like, that I can remember.
We absolutely dominated them. We were all over them. And the reality is, right, we needed Kulusevski. We needed Lo Celso. We needed Maddison. We need these players who, unfortunately, are all out. Right? That's what we need. And you're talking about, right, like the reality is you can't change a player's DNA, right? As much as we'd want Højbjerg or Skippy to be attacking midfielders, it's not in their makeup. It's not who they are as players. It's not how they play. So as much as you'd like them to be attacking midfielders, they're simply not. So I personally think that a full strength side, we'd have been 2 goals clear of them. Right? I think that with the side that we put out, right? With the side that we put out with big absentees in Kulusevski, Maddison, Sarr, Bissouma. Obviously, it's good to have the defensive pairing back, but again, it's their first game, right? Yeah. And look, I thought they played well. I thought they did well, but they're going to get better because that was their first game back. But with the players we're missing, realistically, I'm happy with the point. I am happy with the point, and I'm very excited for the rest of the season because with the players that we have coming back in, I don't see anyone in the league to be afraid of.
Yeah. Fair enough. So I was just sending it out onto the groups. Matt, what do you think of Timo Werner's debut? Do you think? I know by now. I know by numbers it looked like it was a really good debut. But what were your thoughts on his debut?
I was happy with it. He got an assist, which is good. He looked lively. He was looking to push the defence. He was looking to get to the byline. He wasn't always trying to cut in and things like that. He was looking to get past the defender and get to the byline. And also, you've got to remember that he's not been starting. He's not been playing loads for RB Leipzig.
I think he's played like 2 games in the last 3 months, 3 games.
Yeah. I think someone said he's had 17 minutes in the last month or something like that.
Yeah. And he's had 2 sessions with us, 2 training sessions. That's it.
Yeah. So I was quite happy with it because he's had 2 or 3 sessions with us.
Fair enough.
Right? He's had 2 or 3 sessions with us. Again, he hasn't been starting. He hasn't been playing regularly. He's come into us and he started against Man United after 2 training sessions. And I thought it was an all right performance. But I think he's going to get better under Ange as well.
Well, also before I get to Josh, also what you got to remember is that he didn't have a creative midfielder, and I think the key for Timo Werner's success at Tottenham is based on that creative midfield role. Because with Werner's pace, and I'm gonna pinpoint one particular point during the game where Højbjerg took 2 seconds too long to pass the ball to Werner, and Werner just was offside at the end. Josh, what were your thoughts on Timo's debut, and then we can talk about Dragusin as well.
Yeah, I thought he was fine. Like I know social media, the shot that the long shot that went sky high will do the rounds because it's Timo Werner, but like who cares? Really, who cares? Like a shot's a shot, it happens to everyone. But overall, I thought he did fine with the amount, considering the context of his arrival, I thought he did really well. I was really impressed with the assists. It was very much a product of the system. Like you can see clearly in that time how he'll fit in. And I think everyone that said it was a smart move has been justified by that performance to saying he will fit Ange's system. He will do fine with us. And I think he will. I said 5 to 10 goal contributions overall is fine for him, I think, this season. And it looks like he can do that for us. There was a couple moments, obviously, where he was positionally a bit wrong. And I think that will come with time. He's just not been here long enough. But there's a couple of times where, for example, Mickey would have the ball at centre half. And, usually when Udogi's verted, that winger's got to drop just that little bit deeper to be the outlet out wide against the touchline. And he just wasn't there a couple of times. So we had to sort of turn back in and go the other way to Romero and Porro. A couple of moments like that where he was in the wrong position. But other than that, I thought he was pretty competent. I have nothing to really complain about. The intent was there, and it's just good to have another body that can contribute in the team. So I was happy.
Mm-hmm. No, fair enough. Everyone's happy all round. Now I think this is something that I think we all knew we were gonna talk about, and it's something that it's a bit unusual. And Pedro Porro, I mean, I want to talk of great second half from Pedro Porro, very much improved from the first half, but I think we need to talk about that first half performance from Pedro Porro, and this is something we haven't talked about in ages because it's not been a thing. Pedro Porro's defensive issue in the first half. Lads, what was going on there? Is it just me who saw that Marcus Rashford was having a field day? Did anyone see that?
Yeah. I mean,
in his defense, when Marcus Rashford is at it, he is one of the best pacey forwards in the world.
Yeah.
When Marcus Rashford has been inconsistent, and I'm not going to lie, right? It is. I don't know if you guys have noticed it over the years, but I don't know what it is about Tottenham. But we'll play against a team, and we'll play against a team, and they'll be like, "Oh my god, it's his first goal since 2019. Oh, it's the first time he's It's the first time he scored, right? And tonight, right, we got Rasmus Højlund, who's on 1 goal, scores. Then we got Marcus Rashford, who hasn't scored at home for 15 games, scores, right? I don't know what it is about Tottenham, but we always have the players who haven't scored in 500 years getting a goal, right? But literally, the pundits were saying it, and I agree. I mean, the second half completely dropped off. But the first half, I thought Rashford looks like the player that he was 2 years ago for England.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I thought Rashford looked really good. And look, you can blame Porro a little bit, but at the end of the day,
well, it wasn't just Porro's fault. This is going to be my point. It's him and Romero, but it's a specific thing which I saw on James Lawrence Alcott's video that he discussed. It's 2 things for me, and it's body language and positioning, and arm positioning. It's the big one. The main thing is the arms. If you look at both goals,
yeah, they got the arms behind the back.
Pedro Porro and Romero both get caught positionally wrong. So Porro's already facing backwards. Rashford then he's got him. As soon as you're not stood sideways on with Rashford, he's got you. You're dead anyway. So Porro's then out of the equation. But for both goals, the Højlund one and the Rashford one, Romero early and Porro behind him puts his arms behind his back. And as soon as he does that, you can't then turn. You're stuck. You can't get out and close distance. You can't change where your body's positioned, and you can't change your feet because you're stuck. Because it's just not natural. You can't do it. Yeah. And Romero, because he's been done against Arsenal for handballs and in the reverse fixture nearly against United at home, with his arm just being slightly out, and he's been done for it. He's clearly, defenders in the Premier League in general have clearly got a thing now where they are petrified to have their arms anywhere other than right behind them at all times. And I think for both goals, they do it way too early, Romero and Porro. Way too early. It's 2 little things, but it's little things like that where they didn't get that extra yard to close down and block the shot.
Yeah.
Because they've set themselves so early.
It's Romero's first game back. Like,
no, I'm not. I'm just saying that is, for me, that was culpable for both goals.
yeah,
One is
I agree.
Porro's positioning in terms of Porro is facing this way, that way, sideways. Rashford just had him on skates, and he was just a bit all over the place, as
Yeah.
can happen against one of the best wingers in the Prem.
I
But
thought
setting yourself too early was the problem.
look, we had a couple of issues, but I don't think there were major issues. Not like what we saw from Porro in. Like at the end of the day, it was just a positional thing that happened, and it was unfortunate. Like Højlund's goal, right?
Yeah.
He gets a lucky. Like it's not like the ball was played to him. He gets a lucky deflection from Udogie putting his foot in, and he gets a lucky deflection, and he managed to take the ball out of his feet and hit it. Right? I'm not going to lie. Every other game this season, Højlund isn't scoring. It's just lucky that the one time he's put his laces through it, it happened to go there. Right? He's had that opportunity 20 times already this season, and not once has he scored it.
Yeah, it was a great strike. And do you know what? Romero was near faultless in that game, by the way. I'm not criticising Romero's overall performance. In that moment, him and Porro twice have set themselves too early, and it's caused the goals in what was a dominant performance or a controlled performance from us.
But this is the thing. I think Porro, again, I think he had a decent game. Like, I don't think his positional issues are anything like the issues that we saw with him in pre-season.
Agreed.
These are minor little positional things. They got lucky, right? Rashford's 1-2.
It's good finish. It's nice play. It's just nice play. It's a good finish.
It was nice play. It was a 1-2. Again, they got lucky that the return pass just happened to be there while Porro was off balance, so he couldn't get his foot in on the return pass. And then it was a nice finish from Rashford. He's done well. He's put it in the corner. Højlund, he got a lucky deflection from Udogie putting his foot in. He got lucky with that deflection, which gave him the space. And then he's literally just put his laces through it, which, like I said, he's had that exact same opportunity 20 times already this season, and he's never scored from it. It just so happens that was the one time when he put his laces through it, and it happened to go in. It could have gone anywhere.
Well, look. I'm going to come in here very quickly and just say, in my opinion, I think Pedro Porro for the first goal was completely fault for that. I think his positioning there was horrific. It was really, really poor. Which is okay because at the end of the day, he's improved.
I appreciate that, but it's a deflection, and unfortunately, when balls get deflected, players can easily be caught out of position.
Yeah, but Matt, he's out of position.
But he's from the get-go.
Happens.
Exactly. I'm saying when you see the back four line, you can tell that Udogie's in a good position, Van de Ven's in a good position. Then you're looking at Romero, he's in a good position, but then Porro is so close to Romero.
Completely disjointed, though. I agree, Joe. If you look at the screenshot, that back four, it's horrific. It's absolutely horrendous for their first goal. They are nowhere near each other. None of them have got a clue where any of them are at all.
And then you look at the second goal for me.
I think if our back four plays together for the rest of the season, these things should hopefully improve.
Oh yeah, 100%. That's guaranteed going to happen. The improvement's guaranteed going to happen. It's just something that I think it's just important for us to note that, you know, with all the improvements that Pedro Porro is having, he still can have a game or two where he's out position. And it's important for us to note that this is the second goal that happened today. Both goals, in my opinion, was due to the lack of position awareness from Pedro Porro. Obviously, Romero had issues as well. I'm not saying it's not, but with Romero and Van de Ven, I'm kind of like, all right, it's their first game back. We can let them have these kind of mistakes. With Pedro Porro, it's like you're playing consistently. You shouldn't be having these mistakes, but in a way, I'm like, okay, you know what? It's fine because you're with Romero again. They haven't played with each other for 4 weeks, 5 weeks, and also
I think it's just unfortunate. I think it's just unfortunate that the two errors he made led to goals. At the end of the day,
it's unfortunate his position awareness.
That's not unfortunate though. That is errors.
I don't think that can be unfortunate. Yeah,
no, it is errors, but the reality is right. What I'm saying is it's unfortunate that it led to goals. It is errors. I agree with that. I'm not saying he was unlucky. He's made the errors, absolutely. But the reality is, on another day, that Højlund one, he takes a couple of things, slices it wide, or hits it straight at Vicario. Right?
That shouldn't happen, though. He shouldn't be getting the ball there, though.
No, I understand. Like, okay, but the ball's deflected to him. I get that. But the point I'm saying is, right, had that not gone in, we wouldn't even be talking about it right now.
Yeah, but it did go in. And it's one of those where, like, the thing that annoys me, Matt, is that a team like United should not be able to get 2 clean shots off in our box back to back within 1 hop. They should never ever. Yeah. When you've got a player that's 2 yards away in Romero both times, and a player that's in Porro that's 2 yards away from the player that takes the shot, there's no way a player should have the chance to take the touch and then shoot. No way.
It's very frustrating that we conceded 2 goals in a game that we absolutely dominated, and we should have won it 3-0.
Yeah. No, but also one thing that's annoying for me personally as well is the fact that Vicario couldn't do anything for both goals. Yeah. With Rashford's goal, it was a perfect bottom right-hand corner finish. Pretty simple, but Vicario had no chance of stopping that. Same thing with Højlund. But I just want to get onto 2 other occasions, and one of the occasions were the lack of communication between the defenders. Was one occasion where we can talk about twice. It's the lack of communication between the defenders. Yes, it's their first getting back with everyone together, but again, Udogie's header straight to the post, no communication there between defenders, and also last minute header by McTominay, I'm pretty sure it was.
Yeah, well,
alone in the box. Dragusin, I know he's new. What are you guys' thoughts on that? Josh, I'm going to come to you. What do you think?
I've seen a lot of people saying that it wasn't Dragusin's man, and then it was it was either Skippy who was meant to be following
Emerson, I think.
Or Emerson, sorry. It was Emerson's man, and he's the one that's not tracked. So I actually haven't watched it back. I don't know who's at fault, but it nearly cost us a game. It nearly cost us our point entirely in a game that we should have been pretty comfortable in, which would have been a massive shame. But Dragusin on the whole, I thought it was fine. Didn't really do a lot. He just came on to sort of.
Yeah, he was only on for 5 minutes. It's
I can't really analyse a performance where he didn't really have a lot to do.
Yeah, it's difficult to put someone on 5 minutes. Like, he didn't do anything wrong, but then he didn't do anything world-beating either. Like, it is what it is. I get what you guys are saying, but I do feel that we maybe need to give them a little slack as well. Okay, I get what you're saying on positional awareness. Emerson's lost his man and he's alone in the box. Okay. But the reality is, like, players get crosses, players get free headers on goal throughout games. That happens throughout games. And that's happened once.
Yeah, that's fine. But I think we praise these defenders to death constantly. You know, you will hear constant praise from us. So I think it's just as important that, you know, if we're not getting a clean sheet every game, something has gone wrong at some point in most cases.
Yeah, of course.
So we're not criticising them and saying that, you know, this is all their fault and they completely ruined that game for us.
But then, you know, I think part of the issue is like, so what? Emerson went on the right centre back role, was it?
This is the thing. I actually couldn't tell, by the way.
This is the point
because he was playing right back at some point.
We brought on Emerson and Dragusin, but then we still had the bulk of our defence.
Yeah,
I thought Dragusin was in DM at one point when he first came on. I think he was in DM when he first came on.
Well,
then
he came on for Skippy, didn't he?
Yeah. So he was in DM at first, and then when Mickey came off, I think he went centre back, and Emerson went into midfield. I think. So Odoi did. I couldn't really tell.
Yeah, absolutely. But then this again is my point, because the last few weeks, Emerson has been really good as a debutant centre back. Right? He's been really good, and then we see that error from him. But then, okay, well, we've seen that error from him, but is it also part of a case of, well, he doesn't know exactly what he's doing because he was.
I don't think it's worth looking into. I think both players have been on the pitch for 5 minutes. You're not acclimatized to the game at all.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie. I have no idea what positions they were playing. Maybe they had no idea what positions they were playing. And that's the biggest problem.
What's also nice to see is the fact that, I mean, it could be a nice, it could be annoying things depending on what kind of fans you are. But Dragusin essentially compares a centre back, can play anywhere alongside that whole back line. So us as fans, we wouldn't be able to really understand what position he's playing because he can play in all those positions. And yeah, same thing goes with Timo Werner. I don't know if you noticed, but midway game, Werner was playing as a right wing at some point. Switched with Brennan and Richie, like we discussed on the match preview. Now, lads, very quickly, because we're going to end the show very soon. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and drop a like on the video or on the live stream. Very quickly, do you guys think moving forward now from this game with the centre backs, how is this going to work? Do you think this is going to happen again in terms of the lack of communication, the lack of positioning, as Josh and I say, or
I think first of all, I think that the players are back in full training.
Yeah.
Right? They're back in full training. So they're training together. We've got, 11 days before our cup game?
Yeah.
There's plenty of time. I think we'll go Van de Ven and Romero again for Man City. One thing I do want to mention, and I'm sorry, Josh, I'm going off topic here. But Brennan Johnson.
I think we've got to talk about it.
Yeah.
Brennan, okay. The thing with Brennan Johnson is he frustrates me.
Yeah.
He's okay, right? He's a perfectly adequate player. And if he was playing for Bournemouth, we'd probably be singing his praises. But he's not playing for Bournemouth. He's playing for Tottenham Hotspur. Okay? But do you know the thing that most frustrates me, right, is I've been like, right, we're crying out for a pacey winger, right? We want someone fast and direct. And he's just not. And that's what, I think someone said that last year he was the fastest recorded player in the Premier League. Is that right?
He was one of them.
I think
so. Top speed, he was one of the fastest.
So, if not number one, he was top 5 or whatever. Okay? So, he is fast. And I just never see it. I never see him taking his man on down the side. I never see him trying to take on players. I never see him doing that. And that's what really frustrates me with him. Like, he comes inside and passes the ball. Like, I'm not going to lie, you've got this pace. I want to see you use it. Knock the ball, pass the player, and run.
Yeah.
Well, I think in a word, it's mentality. And, we talk about, if we're going to talk about mentality, we'll talk about, it will all come together when I say it, but Udogie and Porro, we said they both had pretty average to poor first halves. And so did Johnson. But the difference between those three young players, 3 players that play in a system, it's Udogie and Porro have confidence in their abilities, have confidence in the system, and have confidence in the philosophy that will get them through it. And because Porro and Udogie just kept going and going and going in the second half, they both had excellent second halves once it did start clicking. The difference is with Johnson, his mentality, for me, is the thing that's worrying more than his ability.
Yeah, I agree.
He stopped taking on his men. He had a couple goes at Wan-Bissaka, was dispossessed or it didn't work, and then he stopped trying. He stopped trying entirely. And that's the thing that bugs me. It's not, and when we talk about his crossing, it's not necessarily the quality of Johnson's final ball, because he's demonstrated, he's got 4 assists already this season for us, and 2 of them came against Everton, where he put in great crosses for Richarlison to score. So it's not necessarily the quality or the consistency of the quality. It's the confidence that I think he doesn't have in his own ability to put that right cross in early. You see he second guesses himself all the time. He waits that extra second or 2 to cross it. By that point, the low whipped cross that Ange loves, that's gone. It's too late. So he has to clip one high into the back post.
Yeah, but I think he could have fallen foul of the obviously the age-old curse, which is a big move. We see it all the time. Players excelling at lower clubs, because when you're in a lower club, the pressure's off a bit. You play with freedom and you play better, and that's what he did. And I think it is the curse of a big club move, because he's moved for what, 47 million, I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Right.
I think because of that, people expect a finished product. You didn't. I've said it every week. You didn't buy a finished product for 50 million. You bought 50 million of potential with
Yeah,
some product.
bought a young player. You bought a young player who, if he fulfills his potential in 4 or 5 years, he might be worth 100 million.
Exactly.
Right?
I've seen a few things today already comparing him. In Son's first season, he got 4 goals and 1 assist, and we nearly drove him out. He wanted to leave because Spurs fans nearly drove him out for this exact same thing. Don't drive young players out early doors. He's been here for 6 months. Give the lad a break. Like,
Not just that. Also, you got to remember, we got a lot of players who also had a 6 months period. Look at Pedro Porro. His first 6 months at the club were
he looked
horrendous.
awful after 6 months. He looked
He was
awful.
awful.
Richarlison. Do you know how much patience our fan base had with
Yeah.
Richarlison after his, quite frankly, terrible first year?
I'm not going to lie. I still think Richarlison is awful.
Okay, fair enough.
I thought he was very good yesterday.
I thought he was amazing yesterday.
I don't get this, right? His hold-up play is non-existent.
I thought he was excellent yesterday. I thought his hold-up play was brilliant yesterday. I
He's
thought he had
awful.
such a complete performance yesterday.
Like every now
I
and
your
then,
point where he lost the ball yesterday. I thought he was excellent.
mate, he loses the ball all the time.
He did not lose that ball. many
I
times
thought
yesterday.
he was great as well yesterday, I got to say.
Yeah, he was
I thought at
excellent.
times he was great. Matt, so you got outnumbered there.
Look,
I thought he
I'll
took
be
the
honest.
responsibility of the number 9
Don't get me
role.
wrong, I love that he's scoring goals. And at the end of the day, if you've got a player who sits on the periphery, does nothing all game but scores a goal every game, that's fine, right? Like, that's not a problem. But I just think it doesn't help that I'm comparing him to Harry Kane. And
I wouldn't do that if I was you.
Yeah.
obviously, but the problem is we've gone from Harry Kane, and I've gone from Harry Kane, who I'd say his hold-up play is the best in world football.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not just the hold-up play; it's the fact that Harry Kane takes the ball with his back to goal, he knocks it a yard, turns, and then picks a pass, and he does it like just so easily and seamlessly. And obviously, I'm comparing Richarlison to that, and we just don't have that in Richarlison.
Yeah, but I don't think Ange wants that either. I think when we talk about hold-up play in Ange's system, he wants Richarlison touch. Where's Maddison? Where's Lo Celso? Where's Sarr? Just 5 yards, pass it off. Get on.
I think. I do think that when we have our attacking midfielders back,
he'll look better.
I think he will look better because he's got players on his shoulder linking up better. So I do.
It's not a fair comparison to Harry Kane, in my opinion. I feel like with Harry Kane, it's also I'm going to say this as well.
Harry Kane's the best striker in the world. So
yeah, exactly. He is the best striker in the world. I'm just going to say one thing, and I think Harry Kane left a season early, I think. I'm just going to say that a season early, I think he left. I'll tell you why. I know he's had all these amount of time at Tottenham that he could have won stuff and he didn't, yeah? I get that. But it would have worked out perfectly if Harry Kane stayed and just believed in Ange. And to be fair to Harry, I don't blame him for leaving, because how many times did we say, or I personally, I'm not saying for you guys, but how many times did I say, yeah, trust Conte, yeah, trust Jose, yeah, trust
exactly.
Nuno, yeah,
as a
trust
club,
this,
just
trust
one more
that.
project. Just one more project.
Exactly. We said that multiple times, and I don't blame him.
And I get it. And I hope to God Harry Kane is sat in his very large, luxurious Munich apartment, looking at this Tottenham team and thinking, what if? What if I'd stayed? What could
you never know. You never know. Because with Harry Kane staying, we might not have gotten James Maddison. You never know. But it all works out for the best.
Of replacing Kane throughout the squad. I think that you've seen Ange has done a brilliant job of replacing those goals already.
The other thing as well is if Kane had stayed, we might not have got the full Ange philosophy, because a lot of the players relied on Harry Kane. So
exactly, now everyone's taking
up on themselves. We get the same narrative of Tottenham are holding Kane back. Tottenham are just ruining him. He's got shackles on him.
Like, if Kane was still there, we might not have got the full Ange philosophy, and that might have affected our play. We might not it's all what if. And to be honest,
so many goals though. He would have scored so many goals.
Oh, so many goals. Like,
he would have broken Erling Haaland's record from last year. I'm telling you that, 100% he would have.
Look, I miss Harry Kane. I love Harry Kane. All right. But the point is, we are now the post-Harry Kane era. Things have happened, is what it is. And all I can do is just appreciate Tottenham for what it is now.
I'm enjoying it. This is the most I've enjoyed Tottenham in years. I know we're going to do a video later on at some point on what's more important, the journey or the sort of the destination.
Yeah.
But this journey so far, I don't know about you, it's the most I've felt connected to the club and enjoyed watching the club.
This is the happiest I've been since Pochettino 16.
15-16 for me. It's the happiest I've been since 15-16.
Well,
this is the happiest I've been since that Pochettino era.
Yeah.
Like, by
far.
Look,
lads, we're going to end it here. But I want everyone to keep themselves tuned in for the Spurs Live YouTube channel, because we've got a very, very exciting week ahead of ourselves, or a couple days ahead of ourselves. Josh has got an idea that's going to be coming out tomorrow. I'm pretty sure we scheduled it for today, but I'm going to have to push off for tomorrow. And that is a quick little thing. It's called what's more important, the journey or the destination, right? So make that whatever that makes sense to you guys. We got it all planned for tomorrow. Now, lads, make sure to subscribe to the channel, drop a like on this video, and comment on the way out. Honestly, comment on the way out if you think Harry Kane would have beaten Erling Haaland's goal record from last year. But lads, look, thank you so much for joining me, Matt and Josh. Hopefully you guys have a great day, and all the listeners out there, be up to yourselves. Come on, you Spurs, and we will see you in the next live stream. Come on, you Spurs. Bye-bye.